We're back, people. We are back for another fun adventure, and this time we decided to go to Mexico. Well, actually, the wheel decided for us to go to Mexico, and we're talking about Here Comes the Devil tonight. I had a good time with this movie. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I had a really good time with this movie. But what? Before we even dive into this, how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing well. Happy to be here. Thank you yet again.
Of course, of course, of course. Happy to have you here. This is all of our like real. We all love foreign horror films.
Yeah.
That is something I can. I mean, we all love horror. We all love films, but that foreign horror, there's just something about it where it's like it just drags you in. It drags you in. It drags you in so much, people, that so backpacking was 30. That's gonna be here from here on out. But that's not what I was getting at. What I was getting at is that it which as you know runs from July to August. Well, we're gonna keep backpacking, but for Sturtoween. So yeah, Sturtoween. We're gonna do it again.
We're traveling for the holidays.
We are traveling for the holidays. Well, the spooky holiday, so to speak, the spooky holiday, the one and only Halloween. But we're gonna be
proletariat traveling for the holidays. So.
Yeah.
Boom, exactly. Proletariat traveling, whatever that means. We're doing that. But no, so it's gonna be. We're bringing Tuesdays back as well for Sturtoween. And I'm fucking excited for that. So yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Sturtovision. So it's gonna be a busy time for that time. But I hope you guys are all here to enjoy it. And like I said, it's gonna be foreign horror from through that. And we're gonna be doing some beach foreign horror in December, November, a little black and white stuff. We're gonna see what we get in there. It's gonna be black and white though. And I got a couple comments. Troy Hill, what is good, my friend? How is everything going, good sir? Make sure you guys all go subscribe to Troy Hill Talks. And when you comment in his videos, tell him, say hashtag StarSturdy sent you. Hashtag the Cowboys suck. All love Troy. You know I got it. You know I got to throw my job. That's all love. Seriously, go check out his channel though, Troy Hill Talks. He has some amazing stuff, amazing content.
Hashtag 49ers rule.
That too. But go check him out. Go check him out. And I got to talk my shit. And of course, if you're what's good, Scene Snobs. If you're not following the Scene Snobs, I really don't know what you're doing in life. You need to put the crack pipe down and go follow the Scene Snobs ASAP. They have some amazing fucking content over there. And you guys know
excellent content.
Yes. You've seen me over there. I'm over there. That's family over there. So go check them out. Go show them love. Troy, I got to, man. I got to. I can't wait for you to do the same when I'm watching yours. I cannot wait. Love to see this. Seeing Snob's greatness. See? I don't lie. I don't lie. So, gentlemen, we are here to discuss Here Comes the Devil. Initial thought. Matter of fact, let's just get right into the ratings because I want to know the ratings early so that listen, if that is what you're reviewing and you want me on for that episode, I told you I will be there. It is the only way I will watch that damn movie. Not gonna be happy
sounds
about
painful.
It does sound painful.
Like Idris Elba and Cats kind of painful.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Chad, what's good, horror fam? Go check out the Video Store Clerks. They have an amazing movie podcast. I can't wait to get over there again. Just when I'm off on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, I'll be back, guys. I promise. But I gotta get you guys over here one of these nights, man. I miss you guys. Anyway, let's get into these ratings, gentlemen. And James, you wanna kick this one off?
Let's see. It reminded me of other movies. a little bit. I enjoyed it. As of right now, I'm going to give it a 7.
Not bad. Not bad. How about you, Trevor?
I very much enjoyed it. It was a surprise. It wasn't what I necessarily expected.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, when it started, I thought it was going to go in the directions of A Hills Have Eyes,
Mm-hmm.
because it's aesthetically very much the same at the beginning. But it is steeped in so much amazing elements that are distinctly its country, which is Mexico. But I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I mean, it is an excellent film, but it does make me want to see Adrian Garcia Belliano, pardon me, is a director and writer. He's actually done quite a lot of things, a lot of extreme gore shorts and stuff like that. But this movie, like Fanta Asia and stuff like that, it was hot. So it's a really, really good movie. But for me to give it anything more, I would have to see how it falls like 5, 6 years from now in the
Mm-hmm.
canon of horror.
Okay.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Um, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. It from the way it started, I thought I was watching the wrong damn movie at first. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie to you. That little scissor action going on. Little.
Yeah,
Go
I
check
was
it out for
like,
yourself.
yeah, I know. It's right in the beginning. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
I wasn't mad, but no, this movie was good, like you both said, and I had no idea what the fuck was gonna happen with this one. I had zero freaking clue. I was like, oh wow, because it
Mhm.
just there were so many different things that were going on. I mean, first of all, you think that the daughter got assaulted by the one guy. I don't know it's
Mhm.
jumping later on, but just for that, because it comes up kind of early with the blood part,
Mhm.
and then it's like, holy shit, just wow, just wow. And
Mhm.
we're gonna get into it, but what the fuck, man?
Well,
For one.
with that, if you don't mind, I wanted to point out because one of the things about this movie is it wears its influences on its sleeve so intensely. And there are ones I'm not going to talk about, well, I'll talk about later that it doesn't say, but still are. When I started watching this movie, it gave off a very Hills Have Eyes
Mm-hmm.
feeling, but also gave off, and not the US one, because that doesn't exist in my opinion, but the Scandinavian film The Vanishing, which is about a couple and the one vanishes, and it takes place within like a mini mart complex,
Mm.
and it just has that feel. So I think the director specifically kind of points you in the other direction as far as horror fans, because at the end of the movie, I mean, if you this is great because you'd love to see this from filmmakers, like, okay, well, maybe they'll thank one or two people, but what were they watching when they made this? What were their influences? And guess what, this guy put it at the end of his movie. So here are his influences: the director Nicholas Roeg, who did several horror films, the legendary author Henry James, who wrote the book on the ghost story, Sergio Martino did Torso, Eloy de la Iglesia, who is probably the brightest star of Spanish horror, Centerfold Girls, this awesome, sleazy, late 1960s, early 70s serial killer film. David Cronenberg, um, Picnic at Hanging Rock, which is this really, really subtle film set in Australia. The film The Entity, and the one that got me because I love it and it ties so much this film, is Richard Stanley's Dust Devil, which is about a shapeshifter. So if you're wondering, what was on this crew and this director's mind, he just tells you at the end of the movie.
Mm.
So that was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. This I love
So
Trevor's.
yeah, I mean, it's this is made. Adrian Garcia Bogoliano is a film nerd. There's no way you can say it without being that, because I mean, if you look at it, it is a retelling of The Exorcist, but it also has references to the concept of poltergeist, because why Poltergeist works so well as a movie is it actually bleeds a little bit into truth. Poltergeist tend to happen to families that have it's outside now of just girls. It is teenagers that are going through the process of advanced puberty, is almost a continual connecting thing between poltergeist. So there's just so many things. And then of course when you first hear the two children doing whatever they're doing, which we can talk about, you also hear the pigs in the same manner that you heard the pigs in The Exorcist. So no matter what, this movie is a movie made by a horror geek for horror geeks, and that's reason to watch it no matter what.
Agreed, actually. Fucking agreed with what you just said there.
And by the way, that scene you're talking about, I'm so glad they stopped at where the girl where she was in the hallway. I'm glad they didn't go to the room. I was like, don't go there. I think that's a law. And don't open that door.
Oh, the
I don't want to
babysitter?
know. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to know what's going on in that room.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was surprising, honestly.
Well, they were technically, it wasn't them, so.
No, I know, but still, just
well, that doesn't
general.
make
So
what to them to
Yeah.
I forget her name, but the woman who was babysitting, it didn't make a difference.
It was like
Either
Marisa.
way, it's just, I mean, this film, I gave it a 6.5, but I have to give the director and writer, same person, an amazing amount of credits, because he breaks so many taboos of cinema
He does.
in this film. But it's very well thought out. The first thing that caught my attention was, I mean, from right out. Okay, so Mexico is a traditionally Roman Catholic country. And it's very important to understand that, like many places in the world, Catholicism came in and made people change what they believed, which Christianity tends to like to say, ooh, witchcraft. Well, understand, if you come into a group of people, this is all they understand, you're bringing your own witchcraft. So the concepts of Catholic and familial guilt are so intense in this film, because you even get to the point that you have the mother and father. The only way that they can get sexually aroused to the point that they both have sex is to talk about the first time their innocence was broken. And
that was weird.
what's good about that is it's guilt. And everything's guilt. Sex is guilt. Trusting your family is guilt. Because honestly, I read it more as it was less about getting revenge for what supposedly the man in the truck did to their daughter and son. And I viewed it more as, okay, we don't talk about this ever. We're erasing this for the good name of our daughter and also the family. Not a bad thing, but that's very much a religious concept. And, what's bad about that is, yeah, it should have gone further than the one visit to the doctor. That's horrific, but it's all about guilt. The entire film is steeped in guilt. There's a lot of references to folklore. Mexican folklore is really fascinating, because Aztec and Mayan folklore which there are, exactly what they're called. There's all different types. Nagunal, in short. It was an Aztec thing, and it was all different kinds of demons, leprechaun-esque things. The duality of two animals and the animal to turn into the other animal is very much in Mesoamerican belief.
Kind of like changelings.
Yeah, so the changelings goes into the concept of the doppelganger. So this is steeped very much in Mexican folklore, as it is steeped in William Peter Blatty level Catholicism that will be on the Exorcist films. So I mean that was very interesting to me, and it even goes to the complete point in which not talking and guilt and trust leads to the husband when the wife brings him to the original children who are actually killed in the film. We're going to go to that. He shoots her.
Without
So
even
it's
thinking.
it comes down to that idea of denial too, which is very steeped in religious guilt. Religious guilt, kind of spawns immense amounts of denial in our world for centuries. So, that's fun as far as this movie goes. Yeah, it was really excellently done.
So it's weird. It's like that area, the cave. It's like, so if you go in there, if you die in the cave, if you dive near it or something, or a little mini earthquake happens, then you have a doppelganger that takes over your life. That's what I got from it, right?
That's the basic gist of it. I mean, okay, so it hasn't been talked about a great deal, but it's still going on very much. At the Drive-In back in the 90s even wrote a song about it. Women of the night, not even use that term, I don't like that term, but in general, sex workers on the Tijuana side of the border, and also a lot of other people, mainly women, and it's going into the thousands, have been found murdered.
Wow.
And there's been no investigation. It's literally been just like, oh, coyotes. Literally, like not literally coyotes, but the coyotes that get you over the border.
That's crazy.
Where it's for a long time thought to like. So that also, because this takes. So the border concept is very important, and that's why I think it does reference. I mean, okay, honestly, the most shocking element of the film, and also I thought was the most creative, is when the serial killer runs into two women who are having sex in their house. Yet again, that guilt. I don't want anybody to know about it. You go check. And then this crazy man is cutting off this person's arm with a machete. That's all you know. And all they say is, the eyes. Did you see this person? And he runs up to that area that is the hilled area the children get lost in. And he drops his machete and opens his bag, and a handful of fingers fall out. And he literally falls on the floor and dry humps the fingers. This is you're not in for a innocent ride.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the more shocking things I've ever seen in a, mainstreamish film.
I mean, it kind of looked like you're like, wait a minute, is he transforming into like a werewolf or something? You're like, wait a minute, no, that motherfucker's dry humping those fingers that just fell on the ground. He's getting off. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that I was like, what the when that happened, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? What's going on? Really?
Yeah, I was sure it was going in this amazing serial killer direction.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because it might be a little bit of a stretch, but especially when they show the form in a hood and everything. When you looked at it from a serial killer angle, I saw a lot of similarities to I Saw the Devil aesthetically with the killer in this, because it doesn't go into the supernatural end in I Saw the Devil, which was our Korean film, but there almost has to, because he is a force of nature, and it just gets so out of control. I don't know, maybe I've just seen so many movies, I automatically see something and go, oh, that's from there. And so, but
Holy wow. I saw. Oh man, just bringing that movie up again, Trevor. That movie was just. I was just telling somebody at work about that. Brian, the other day about that.
Yeah.
And someone else I was telling about recently. I was like, that's the best revenge movie I've ever seen in my life. Because that's just so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where you're just like, anytime that movie's mentioned, I just think about that in that last scene. Well, the way that movie, the revenge. I think about that revenge scene. I don't want to spoil it now. We did it on that episode. If you want to hear that spoiler, you can go back to that one. But definitely watch that movie. Really quick, no wheel spin this week because we had spun it last week for the whole, because there was only 2 movies left.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But I do know we are going to Peru this time, guys.
Ooh.
Peru.
Yes, sir. Yes, gentlemen. Yes, people out there. And I'm excited. I'm about to show this off in one moment. And next Thursday we'll be in Peru. So get ready for that. Get your backpacks. Get your passports. If you don't have them already, your virtual passports for these virtual traveling, of course. Cheapest way to travel. And yeah,
I don't know if I've ever seen a Peruvian horror film.
I don't think
really interested.
I don't think I ever did either.
I could say the same. I don't know if I have or not, but
I don't think I did.
Here we go. Wham. Cementerio General
Cemetery.
General Cemetery. Yes.
Ooh.
I have no clue what it's about. As you guys know, I don't watch trailers. I don't read anything about. I just dive into it, and I'm excited.
That's kind of how I did this film. I specifically was like, I'm just gonna.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and just get immersed in it and see what I pick out, and it is very, very good.
It's
but yet again, no matter how good it is, you brought up I Saw the Devil, and there's a reason why I think I gave that like a 9, and why I would give the 6.5. I mean,
yeah.
I want to see that this guy does in the future fascinates me less than this film. So,
excuse me. What was some of your favorite scenes? What was some of your favorite part?
The parents. So when the parents went into the truck, and they were talking to him and trying to get him to admit that he did that to the kids, and he's like, "I just took the underwear." Basically, he's saying I didn't do nothing else, but the father just started stabbing him and stabbing him. Then when he was bleeding out and was about to scream, then the wife just came over and just grabbed him and ripped his
trachea out.
Yes.
I was like, God damn. I was like, okay. I like that. That was a cool scene.
Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite scenes in the film as well, James. I was just about to ask, what's your favorite? I have a feeling that was your favorite, if not one of your favorites.
Oh, this is what this reminds me of. So a newer movie that came out, it was Something's Wrong with the Children.
Yes.
I didn't see that yet. I meant to watch that.
Same concept. Like, didn't the kids go when they died and they got replaced by those fucking that looked like them?
Like changelings type of deal?
Yeah. Like doppelgangers.
I
think I think it was the same concept, kind of.
My wife, I watched this with my wife. She said the same thing, but I was like, I didn't watch that movie, so I don't know.
Yeah. That's where I knew it. I was like, this kind of looks familiar with the dead bodies where you see them on the bottom of the cave, like they're dead. But then you got the wherever the hell you want to call those things are like active. I didn't. For one part, I didn't understand why did they keep going back to the cave every day.
Well, okay. So that's never explained.
No.
And it's not explained on purpose. There are vague elements to this movie that are very important to the movie working. Um, like for me, the relationship between the wife and the husband was one of the more interesting things about the film. Um, that it there's this bizarre ingrained distrust between them that is almost like a caricature. So you aren't surprised that he kills her, but it really starts like this weird thing in which does I think his name's Lucio, actually, the husband. Does Lucio honestly think that everything is connected back to his potentially psychotic to the point of psychosis wife, which then puts it very center into the genre of, as Claire Janice has as a House of Psychotic Women, where her ability to actually try to find things out and actually be the sleuth, but doesn't trust that her husband will actually believe her, even though they've literally killed a guy in a so massively gross way, there's no way they could not have enjoyed it. But to actually get to the point in which she plays the sleuth and brings him to his dead children, trust me, what's going through his mind is, oh my God, you did what?
Yeah.
And so the whole film is, here comes the devil. Ahí va el diablo. And it makes you start wondering exactly what the devil is. What is the devil really doing anything wrong in comparison? Well, not wrong, but what is worse? The idea of possession or the idea the person you're supposed to live your life with? Such massive things, forever kind of crap, would, after literally tearing a innocent man apart, to do pretty much nothing but, hide a reality, is he so quickly starts thinking of his wife as a loose cannon. She can't take this. So I do feel that him turning around and shooting her is him acknowledging, well, you just went crazy. And that's evil incarnate, in my opinion. So I found the husband's reaction to his wife as horrific as this devil or horrible figure who is just basically doing this to survive and has a manifest destiny aspect. Lucio literally like throws away everything on a you're acting weird, you're crazy, bang.
With that too, though, if I'm not mistaken, at the before he shoots her, like when she, he sees the kids, he's crying, and he's standing there for a quick second, you hear whispers.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, I feel like his mind or whatever, he was being possessed, because it's like, they say with the possession and all that, the easiest way to, besides children, it's like when you're broken, mentally broken. He was broken, and it was just like boom, boom, because he killed her,
Well,
killed
you can go
himself,
the opposite way too.
and then, you know,
Yeah, so instead of him being the one who doesn't, it's just you just do a circle with it. So the idea of, you know, everybody being possessed, how possessed is, no, it was a fascinating movie, but it's so steeped in familial and religious guilt. That was, it's the same guilt that led them to literally go medieval on that guy's ass to
Oh,
the point
they
of this total sadistic pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
th- th-
yeah, what's worse, the devil or the fear of the devil?
that is true. Going back to that, because they ripped that dude apart. Like going back
Mm,
to, and again going just back to how she just ripped his throat out. Like that was some wild, violent
mm,
shit. And I'm like, and then how they just go and take a shower right after this. And
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh, I didn't
and
even think about that. Okay, so let's take it back to the beginning with because sex is a massive concept in this film,
yeah,
which of course puts me onto the idea of religious guilt. But okay, so we have the mysterious serial killer, dry humping fingers, but there's no way, and the director, I think, filmed this specifically, that you don't look at what that married couple, does to this possibly guilty man is not being a orgy of violence. They're both getting, it almost to me comes off in the same way that like the couple in Necromantic
hmm
are portrayed being so based on a corpse. It's that, ugh.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you don't feel justice. It is, yeah, it crosses a line in so many ways. I mean, child sex, incest, um, brutal murders, uh, the joy of killing,
oh yeah,
um, uh, families literally violently falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, it touches upon so many taboos, and it has a great deal of fun doing it.
it does.
But no, it's a great film to, I would recommend it as a great film to watch and then talk about, because there's so many angles you can look at it that, yeah, it's,
hmm For me though, like everything you said, I agree with. But it's for me though, I would say, and I want to ask you guys this too. It's a one for me. It's a one and done because it is a good film, but it's one of those ones where it's like it's not good enough, especially because the things that well, to an extent, because the things that it touches on,
mhm.
it's not good enough to come back to. But it definitely was worth the ride for me. But but I could also say the same thing about wanting to watch just more stuff in general. But this
Mhm.
again, because I will rewatch movies. This isn't one I'd go back to.
Mhm.
But it is something I do feel like people should check out.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that I would definitely suggest this film to.
Yeah,
Other ones I wouldn't. But people that themes in this film are definitely in their wheelhouse.
yeah,
So yeah, this is one not to ignore. If you're literally, it's, isn't it Shudder that released it? I mean, if you're just looking for something that really is going to take your breath away, watch it. But it's not going to take your breath away in a way that's like this movie is changing your life. You
no,
might just feel really skeevy for the next 12 hours. So,
shit, man, fuck, wow, a lot. You'll be saying a lot of like holy shit,
yeah.
a lot of holy shits because it's again a lot of the stuff was unexpected for me. A
Mhm.
lot of the stuff was unexpected, especially the incest and that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this was gonna happen.
Is there a more taboo thing within a Roman Catholic society,
Yeah, and I'm
especially a
not.
Spanish one in which it's pretty. They don't say the age. I don't think they might, but she definitely looked quinceañera age.
So it's like,
But you could definitely tell based on how everything went down and everything. This was pre quinceañera, and
mhm,
there was definitely some societal element working there of, we got to take care of this and it just doesn't get out, where you know
yeah,
logically if this happened both your children would be getting everything done to them possibly done to figure out exactly what happened.
What's going on? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you're right about that. You're right about that. But I mean, but I like how they did go in a different direction, I guess, than a lot of things I've seen with the possession.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like you know what I mean, because they always do the same shit for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's done well or not is the key to it, but it's always
That's the
So they
thing. Is
went,
it really a possession? That's what I'm confused on. Because they were dead in the cave. They didn't really possess the bodies. It was like a
well,
like
it
a
was like a like yeah, but it was still their doppelganger thing, but it was still like
it was
something from
weird.
that cave.
Well, if
Hmm.
the father was honestly the possessed one,
Yeah.
it just changes everything up again.
Mm.
That exactly when.
Now, what about they did a twist? Like the mother was really going crazy, and she like killed her kids in the kitchen because she thought they weren't her
That
kids.
that would be a severe letdown, because there is a point in Taboo that if you go too far, you just don't. Like, one of the things that I really liked about this director in this film was, okay, so you see him shoot her,
Mhm.
and then you hear another shot,
Mhm.
which is him probably shooting himself, which would make sense based on, that the interpretation we
Oh
went
yeah.
over. But they come back down, they play the things, but something's up because they can't drive a car right.
Mhm.
At
He's just having a
all.
hell of a time driving a car, and then bam, boom, this grindcore uh, doom metal just smacks you in the face. And it does two things. You actually giggle a little bit when you watch that this whatever it is can't even drive.
That was
And then once you get
yeah.
that little laugh in, pow.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
it's that pow that lets you go enough that you don't obsess about just seeing a lot of taboos.
Yeah.
That's fair to say. That is
Now, did
fair.
she poison the kids in the kitchen and set them up like she was turning the gas on the stove like to blow up the house or something?
Well, yeah. So the idea was
That's
that
what I thought
she
too.
would uh, tranquilize her children and tie them into the house, so it could be proved that they were evil doppelgangers. But eventually, this leads to her having Lucio come to the cave. So that's why I mean it goes both ways. In that scene alone, when she ties her children up and they're tranquilized,
And they're good
it
clothes for some
splinters a
weird
bit.
reason.
So you honestly could read this as just a extreme psychotic psychosis based situation. But I don't think that is the case. I think it craftily makes you wonder, because this is definitely not it's all a dream, thank
Hmm.
God.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it gets so crazy and the communication within the family gets so absurd that whose interpretation of what is what?
Yeah.
All we know is the four of them will live a happy, healthy, and unfortunately procreating existence. So you know,
Yes. Yes, they
Mhm.
will.
yeah,
And no one will even know.
yeah.
Nope.
Just gotta get that driving down a little bit better, and
Mm-hmm.
once I get that down, it'll be all right. The kids got to start going to school. Actually,
Yeah.
no, because the father was like at that scene because the kids they weren't going. They were going to the cave every day. You find this out by the school calling and asking the mother like when the kids are going to come back to school. The set and the third, what have you, and you find out that they end up going to the cave. You find this out because the mother follows the father to the school when he drops the kids off, and follows the
Mm-hmm.
kids when they go. So, anyways, I'm getting at that to say she drops the part of the cave, So she tells the father to bring the kids to the school, bring them to the door. He does that. He goes in. The kids go in there. They're talking. They're laughing with their friends. She's on the phone with the father, and she sees her kids in the cave.
Hmm.
And so so then it just
Yeah.
to throw that in there, and I'm just like, so when she tranquilized the kids, I for whatever reason when she made the kids drink the stuff, for whatever reason I was thinking she was going to get them in the car and bring them back to the cave, somehow get them back bring them back to the cave, get them back in there, and maybe try to prove to her husband that there's our kids and then there's these two, but she didn't. I'm
Well,
glad it ended. I'm glad it didn't
Yeah.
end like that though, because I feel like it
Yeah.
would have been more of one of those similar to everything else in a
And what's
sense.
really crazy about this movie too, the doppelgangers didn't really do anything bad.
well, that's why this movie. Honestly, the more you talk about it, the more you can just go in
Well,
a circle.
each
Because
other.
okay,
They
one of
did
the
each
first
other.
things.
That's bad.
Oh, sorry. What was that? Sorry about that,
No.
Sturdy.
Oh no, you're good. I'll just say because he said they didn't do anything bad. It just hit me. I'm like, they did each other. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I'm saying they weren't killing nobody. They're just
Yeah, that's
living
true.
a life. They're like just took
well,
over the kids' lives.
True.
at the beginning of the film, there's several shots, but the key important shot is you can tell that the mother of the kids is not extraordinarily happy that they're going to go out on their own. She gives them a watch, so it is on her time. But they hold hands like brothers and sisters, but then they change how they hold
Yeah, that
hands
was weird.
and
Yeah.
she has a reaction. So, a very generalized reading would actually support the idea of her potentially killing the kids. But yet again,
Mm.
the pluses of this movie is it's just going in so many different directions, and at certain points, like what we just said, you start talking about it and you start feeling kind of like an asshole because it's like, no, this is being thrown in our face just to be so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you base it just on the first part of the film, there's so much guilt, and that there's a distinct element in which she focuses on those her children touching themselves in a way that did not seem appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
he then can like go back to religious guilt and oh, what's worse, my kids are playing around experimenting and oh my god it gets out and oh my god it's Satan, I'm gonna kill them. Yeah, I mean, you can interpret it in so many different ways.
You really can.
But, I do like to think that both the parents in their own way are so clueless that there is an innocence to them.
Mm.
But in certain ways, it also, who's acting more like children in this film?
Mm-hmm.
The children or their parents? I mean,
Mm.
there's a
Yeah.
scene in which he's like, "I've got the gun because I need protection," and there's, so yeah. I mean, honestly, talking about it, I kind of, I do want to give it a year. Like, give it a year. I'm going to revisit this and,
Mm.
see if it has a lasting impression, or I'll
Okay.
see it a second time and I'll have a decisive interpretation of it.
Okay.
So
I
Nice.
like
I
that. I
don't
like
know.
that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, this is it's one of those films I feel like I could see people revisiting it. Like I said, I probably more than likely I know I won't. But
Mhm.
if you do, Trevor, I would love to hear your update on it. If we all
Mhm.
remember it as well,
Mhm.
your update on it. Because I'm only saying that because we watch a lot of fucking films. We watch
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of movies, and a year from
Mhm.
now, if we keep going at this rate, that's gonna be a lot of a fuck ton more movies that
Mhm.
we're gonna have in our Rolodex that are brand new, and then probably having similar conversations to Trevor saying, but to let you guys know in 6 years how I feel about this
No,
movie.
my ADHD will not allow me that. So
That's too far.
being
A year.
human won't. So
Fair. That's
you know,
true. But shit, this was a fun one, guys. This is a fun
yeah.
one. This is, and again, check this movie out. Definitely check this movie out. It's definitely worth the watch. At least the one time watch.
Mhm.
Um, And let us know what you think in the comments. Definitely let us know what you think down in the comments, because very interested in all these movies that I talk about and discuss and review. I'd love to know what you guys feel about these movies if you've watched them, and if we gave you, made you go check them out for the first time, or check them out again just to see how you feel about them.
And if you know the band that
Yeah.
played at the end of the movie, let us know, because we can't figure it out.
Nope.
And what? So what? It was the song that played once the credits started.
As the end credits started,
Right
so
at the end, it was a heavy metal.
grindcore doom metal.
It was like
yeah.
it was like it just punches you in your face.
I still think it sounds like members of Brujeria, but no, I can't find anything.
I have no clue. I couldn't find it either.
Yes, and they want to hear that song again, people. So can you please help them find it? Just drop it in the comments. Just let us know what it is. That's all. That's all. Help, all that good stuff. But again, here comes the devil. Which I found the cover for it now, guys. Shout out to Mexico. Go watch some more Mexican horror films, because it's dope. And again, next Thursday, episode 507, we're going to Peru.
I'm really excited for this one. I don't think I ever watched a Peruvian movie.
Film. Me either. And I plan on ordering some Peruvian food. I did get some Mexican food. I just got some enchiladas. To be honest with you.
Is there
I didn't even
restaurant near you? Because they're not easy to find.
I believe there is. My wife would know more than I. She's not Peruvian. She's Puerto Rican, but she was telling me about it. I believe there is a Peruvian restaurant in this vicinity somewhere.
Some of the hottest food in South America.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it is a hot food. Unlike a lot of cuisines of that area, it is definitely hot.
I'm not gonna go for the spice. If it's like a flavorful spice, hell yeah, send them my way.
Oh yeah,
if it's
like
a hot,
really flavorful.
Burn your mouth, kill you. No, I don't want that. I don't.
That's my style.
Yeah, I'm done with that kind of stuff. Yes, man. I'm gonna shoot you a message after the show, Chad. Greatly appreciate it, and I would love. Yes, hell yes. I'm gonna shoot you a message after this episode, Chad, and let's link up. But this was fucking fun.
Yes,
and make sure you guys, people out there, go check out Ambassador Media.
Thank you very much.
This guy Trevor knows his stuff. He knows a lot of stuff. As you guys see on here, our forward correspondent Uncle T knows his shit.
I know an amazing amount about stuff that has not done any monetary good for my life
yet. Trying to figure that out. We all are. Actually.
Thank you.
we're all trying to figure that out. How these, things that make you happy and all this other stuff and spreading joy. Now you can make some fun, make a living off of it. Honestly, so you can do this. This could be your career.
Yeah.
But
well, thank you.
Yes, make sure you guys check out Ambassador Radio. This guy? He knows his stuff. And of course, Popcorn and Pints. Check us out every Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm going to give you guys a heads up. We're doing a pre-recorded episode this Friday. We're going to drop it Saturday, so it's not going to be live. So when you guys, if you're commenting on the live and we're not responding to your things, it's because we're not live. Well, you know that right now. We will not be live Saturday, but our episode's going live Saturday. You'll see. And we're reviewing Morbius and Madam Web. I have not watched them yet. I'll watch them when I need to. I'll watch them when I need to, when it's time to review. So that's gonna be a fun time. And then tomorrow, Sturdovision.
Ooh, that's gonna be a
grand old time. From dusk till dawn. And listen, yes, it's the first time watch. You can drop it in the comments and say what you got to say. That's perfectly fine. I heard it all before. That's fine. I'm excited to see it. Salma Hayek's in it. I'm sold.
Robert Rodriguez film. A lot of Tarantino influence in the film.
There's gonna be a lot of feet.
I know that some crowds. That's awesome. That's gonna bring him in.
Oh, I know a guy. I'm not gonna call you out this time, bro. But shout out to you.
That's funny.
Mazel tov. Good for you, man.
Yes. Lots of smoke required for those two. Yeah, it's gonna be some smoke.
It's so hard for me not to touch upon the obvious pun. I'm not going to do it. I'm not that. I'm not that juvenile.
I am, but we'll
Go
talk
for
about it
it.
after this one. We'll talk about it after this one. No, but seriously, though, people, have a great night. Appreciate each and every one of you that come in and watch, like, share, comment, all that great stuff. I really do appreciate it because this is fun as hell. I love this stuff. I love talking horror. I love talking films with whoever's on here with me, these two gentlemen, and whoever else comes on with us, and you guys in the comments as well. You're a part of this, so don't be afraid to, when we're going live, to be in here talking and shit because we're gonna talk back. But yeah, please check out HorrorWithSirSturdy. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe, hit that bell too, so when I drop shit, hey, Sir Sturdy's out here. He's dropping something. Oh shit! Wow, we gotta go check it out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be funny, or it could be stupid. That's fine too. But check it out at least. You never know. Anyways, I'll see you in your nightmares. I hope you guys have an amazing night. And again, Sturdo Vision from dusk till dawn, midnight. Ooh, it's gonna be a good time. Make sure you guys are here for it. Peace.